When it comes to these pay-per-view numbers, the numbers are all over the place. But I know as far as U.S. numbers, I can't go in because I'm seeing subscription numbers. They added in, well, with the zone subscriptions and pay-per-view buys. Then they got, well, in the U.S., Triple G and Canelo did 500,000. Okay, so we just gonna roll with that number. So in the U.S., Canelo Alvarez and Triple G did 500,000. These are the boxers who've been on pound for pound. Even after they lose, they still go up higher after they lose on pound for pound for some reason. These guys will lose and still go up higher on pound for pound. Triple G lost to Canelo twice and was still top five on pound for pound. So they still go up higher on pound for pound. So with the whole Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence fight, that fight did 700K. And as far as I know, that's a higher number than Triple G and Canelo. Now, people will say, well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the biggest star in boxing. Nobody knows who Terrence Crawford is. Okay, so Earl Spence. So Earl Spence is fighting a nobody from what they said. He fought a nobody, and he sold 700K. Then Pitbull went 12 rounds with Cabrera, Giovanni Cabrera on that same card. And nobody, and for some reason, 700,000 people didn't see that performance he had. And he did the same kind of performance against Rayo. But 700,000 people didn't think that he would go 12 rounds with Rayo. But for some reason, those same 700,000 people, they bought that same fight card, Spence and Crawford. But for some reason, they just didn't know all that. But when the Canelo and Triple G fought the last time, because it was no buzz after the fight. I'm just gonna be honest. It was one of the worst fights I ever seen, to be honest with you. But the buzz after the fight was horrible, and nobody's actually bringing up the fact that these guys really ain't sell like that. And Canelo's in his prime, and he could sell 500K with Triple G for a third fight that people were begging for, a third fight. I wasn't because the trilogy wasn't good enough to actually do three. It wasn't a good trilogy. Let's just keep it real. Golovkin versus Canelo wasn't a good trilogy. It just wasn't. It wasn't something that people brag about. People take more pride in Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury wasn't even on people's radar. Tyson Fury wasn't even talked about before Wilder fought him. And I would know because I was one of the biggest Tyson Fury fans before people even start checking in on him. I told people that Tyson Fury was a better fighter than Joshua at the time. And people didn't even say it. They said, oh, Tyson Fury, he's not good, man. I don't know why Wilder's fighting him. He's running away from Joshua. So they didn't think Tyson Fury was a big name. And for some reason, they'll claim that he's a big name now and that he did 1.5 with Usyk. Those numbers are sketchy to me, but it is what it is. So let me just throw this out there, though. Why is Spence versus Crawford selling more in the U.S. than Canelo versus Triple G? And Triple G came over here to fight, and Canelo came over here to fight, and they get promoted like they're actually from America. So I'm confused about that, and people still bring up pay-per-view numbers. Is this really a conversation at this point, to be honest with you? Because I heard Bob Arum say that the fight won't sell and everything else. But it did more numbers than what they did out here. And it's all allegedly. I heard they did more numbers out here. Bob Arum talking about Crawford don't sell and everything else, and he lost money behind them. That's all allegedly, but look at it now. Canelo and Triple G's 3 was not a big fight, man. It didn't sell like that. They sold off of their name. And like I said, these numbers are sketchy. They really are opinion-based numbers, to be honest with you, because reporters act like they got the same sources, but then they come out, they can't even get an approximate number. Now, for some reason, they know that Tank Davis got a $275 million contract. He said when he was promoting this fight that he had a 6-7 fight deal, and nobody even paid attention to that until recently. But for some reason, now I'm supposed to just take people's word off of. Like, these reporters didn't even know Tank Davis had a 6-7 fight deal. Then when he said it, people didn't even believe it. So half the time when these fighters actually tell you the truth, these reporters and the fans, they don't even believe half of the stuff. So technically, from what I'm hearing, Tank Davis and Canelo are doing about the same amount of numbers. And Tank is doing this without big names. So if Tank just did what? They said 400K? That's good because Triple G and Canelo did 500K. So what are we talking about as far as pay-per-view numbers and selling, man? Is this really a conversation still? Let's hang it up. It's time to hang that conversation up.